Alrighty, welcome back to Radio Cayman Sports Extra. If you're just tuning in, Mr. Joe Wright, Mr. Victor Vutogaro, and Mr. Colin Anglin in the studio with us, and we're discussing the Cayman Islands Classics. So this year's tournament will see 8 top-tier teams vying for the coveted 2022 Cayman Islands Classic title. Kansas State University, Tulane University, University of Nevada, Louisiana State University, Illinois State University, University of Akron, University of Rhode Island, and Western Kentucky University. They will take center court on the week of Thanksgiving, November 20th through the 23rd. 21st through the 23rd, at the John Gray Gymnasium, right? So, gentlemen, we can start just, for those who are not too familiar with college basketball on this island, that's going to be taking place on this island. Can you enlighten them on the level of competition that's, going to be on island here in the next 6 days?
Okay, the level of competition is going to be great. It's coming in. It's a high-level basketball. It's not NBA basketball, but it's the next best thing.
Right.
These are some of the teams you're going to be seeing on TV on a regular. Mm-hmm. High intensity, great defense, great offense, great players, great coaches, great fans. Looking forward to seeing it.
I know you're looking forward to seeing Kansas State.
Very
That's
excited.
Your alma mater, right?
My old school's coming in town.
Yeah.
I get to meet the new coach, new players, AD. They brought the biggest group coming into on the island, so I'm looking forward to meeting everybody and greeting everybody.
Have you been keeping up with that your old school, Kansas?
Oh yeah, I keep. Well, it's more so when I was in school, it was a basketball school.
Okay.
It was all about us.
Right.
Now it's all about football. But now
Okay.
that we got a new basketball coach, he's from associate head coach at Baylor when they won the national championship a couple of years ago. So he's taken over as the head coach of Kansas State, and there's a buzz about him that everybody's talking about. So, and he's brought in top recruits. So we're pretty excited about that. We're excited for them to come in and hope they can win it.
Yeah.
I'm going to take that crown away from Coach Foot this year. If K-State wins, I get to crown them the champion.
You guys each have a team. You've selected a team you think is going to win. Are you guys betting?
No,
I'm going with Kansas State.
I'm waiting until Joshua comes.
Until Joshua comes, okay. All right. Mr. Anglin, do you have any team in mind?
You know what? Just based on the work that I'm doing, I'm going to plead the fifth. I'm going to stay neutral. I'm going to stay neutral right now.
Well, let's, there's a lot of excitement, of course, around the tournament, especially since you guys released the bracket, of course. What has been the feedback been like from the people, from basketball fans, from where you're coming from, Joe, as well?
Mm-hmm. Well, it's in the States they've been playing, but they've been playing without fans, and no more there was no traveling for a couple of years. But now that it's come back, I think everybody's excited. Everybody's excited about getting out of the country and going to a foreign place and play. And teams are looking forward to it, and different competition. These are a lot of teams that they don't get to play during the regular season. So, a lot of these schools are really excited about coming over here and getting some sun because it's mostly cold in the United States in those areas where these teams coming from. So I think they're looking forward to coming over and playing, getting some sun and playing, get some good competition.
All right. And what's the buzz been like here locally?
Oh, it's been good. I mean, there's been a lot of people that have come to me and said, oh, my goodness, I'm so glad that, it's finally back and stuff like that. And, of course, throughout COVID, with the island being so dead tourism-wise, everybody's excited now for just about anything that can bring some more tourism in here and get our visitors back here and get people here spending money and just brightening up the economy in that sense. So, college basketball is, in my opinion, it's kind of on a pedestal in terms of sport tourism events because it's really been proven to have incredible economic impacts. You look at, tournaments such as same thing Battle for Atlantis in the Bahamas, over in Maui, etc. It's they have the track record really speaks for itself in terms of the type of impact this tournament can have. So that's been really good. People are excited. They're already feeling the impact even before the teams have come because people are making arrangements at restaurants. And people are making plans that for various types of tourist attractions, etc. So it's a big deal. So it's something that's very welcome here, and I think it will continue to grow from strength to strength.
The impact has been felt internationally. because I have friends from Greece coming
Okay, awesome.
to the tournament. I have friends from Trinidad coming to the tournament. So it has been, it has been aired, and people are aware of it, and it's growing.
Awesome. I like that.
Yeah, and I mean also in terms of the players, the basketball players here and stuff. I mean they can't wait to see it, right? Because that's one of the most incredible things. Is it's one thing to see these people on TV, then it's a completely different experience being able to see them in person. What that does for aspiring athletes, being able to see the game up close and personal, being played at that level. It challenges you, right? It also kind of it forces you to evaluate yourself and say, okay, I see the level that these people are playing at. Am I there? What do I need to be there? I need to work harder, etc. I gotta, you gotta do those things. Then watching those players make mistakes, it also brings it home for you, and it allows you to go, you know what? Wow, you know what? Yeah, they are human, just like me. They're just like me.
There's a coaching phrase that I use. Basketball is a game of mistakes. The team that make the least win. So I'm actually telling the participants, you are going to make mistakes.
Right.
However, what you want to do is to limit your mistakes. So do not go out there and try to be perfect. It won't happen. There are nights that Steph Curry had 2 in 16, and he kept on shooting. And this is what we want the young people to know, that we know that you're going to make mistakes. However, the objective is to cut down the mistakes.
Right.
As the same.
We have seen the impact that the Classic has had and is having on basketball in the Cayman Islands. We have an under-19 league going on at present. 7 male teams, 5 female teams. Right? So we know for a fact that the impact is there. Recently, we being KMAX Sport Limited sponsored the 3-on-3 tournament, which is something new to Cayman Islands. And based on that sponsorship and the turnout that we had, right now we are ranked in FIBA and is expecting to participate internationally in 2023.
Right. Just to add
So,
on.
the offspring of this tournament is really positive.
And just to kind of, tell the youth in the under 19th around kids and around this area here in the Cayman Islands is that, basketball is just not basketball. It's like a lifestyle,
Yeah.
A lot of coaches say, that basketball's got to be your girlfriend. It's got to be with you all the time. You got to practice it all the time. And you will not make it if you don't practice all the time. So it's a hard thing to do. A lot of people don't want to do that hard work, but if you put in the hard work, you can make it. And who would have thought that we're going to have 9 NBA coaches over here watching these players play. So the opportunities are there for everybody. Everybody can achieve those goals, but it takes a lot of work and a lot of effort and a lot of time.
So we do have 9 NBA coaches?
9 NBA coaches.
You can't just slide that there and don't say who. Do you know who?
I know the Lakers are coming.
Ain't calling all that.
No, remember the NBA is in progress as we speak.
Yeah, of course. So it'll probably be the scouts.
Scouts.
Yeah.
They're scouts.
The very first year I met the Los Angeles Lakers scout. Right. I think I remember that distinctly, and he was quite impressed with the level of play, and they were looking at recruiting a particular player. I just don't remember the name of the team at the time, and it may have been the winner. The winner in 2016, right?
I think
2017.
South Dakota, they might have been looking at Mike Dom, I think, at that
That's
point in
the
time,
name.
too. Mike Dom,
Mike
right?
Dom.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's the name.
There's a particular player from Western Kentucky that everybody's coming in. So we have 2 scouts coming in from the Lakers. We have one from Chicago Bulls, one from Detroit Pistons, one from the Los Angeles Clippers. Scouts coming in from Denver Nuggets, scouts coming in from Brooklyn Nets, and scouts coming in from Toronto Raptors, and also one coming in from Milwaukee Bucks. So those are our scouts that are coming in to watch these players compete.
Awesomeness. And I know, Coach Voot, you're probably tired of everyone asking you, what does our national basketball players have to do with this tournament? Would you kindly explain to us how can we get involved? How can our national players get involved in a tournament of this
first
magnitude?
I'd like to set the record straight. This tournament is a continuation of the tournament that they play back at home.
Right.
And they have blessed us with their presence here to play a few games here on our soil. So this is not an international tournament. This is an NCAA tournament. Hence the reason the refereeing is different to ours.
Right.
So just to let people know that the refereeing, we play FIBA basketball here. the Federation of International Basketball Association. NCAA is what they play. So if you look, you will see that they have the markings on the court are different for them.
Right.
Right? The refereeing is different for them. So they are coming to continue their tournament here and blessed us with their presence to play 12 games here. So whatever games they play here is going to add to their tournament back in the States. So they're not coming to joke around. This is not an exhibition.
Right.
This is competition going on.
And I know earlier you
So,
said
you
that...
know, I was asked once, why Cayman national team can't?
Right. Mm-hmm.
It's two different types of basketball.
Right.
Right? And plus, we are not in their competition.
Right. And I know earlier you mentioned that you're waiting for Joshua to come along.
Right. What I mean,
explain to us.
Joshua Ogaro is the first Caymanian player to play at a Division I level.
Right.
Right now, he's playing at a college and he's scoring 20-something points for the past 5 games. He has had over 20-something points. So we know it's only a matter of time for him to be in the right spot. However, we are checking it. Joe is checking it. When he's at the right spot at the right time, we are going to invite a school here.
Right.
We don't want to bring him here as a junior.
Right.
We may bring him here and he may not play much.
Right.
But we want to bring him when he's playing so people can see him play.
Right. I actually got to see him play 4 weeks ago in Wichita, and JUCO is a good. It's a good talent. There's a lot of talent there, a lot of big kids, and those players are all fighting to get to that next level, the level that these kids are here that are coming this weekend are going to be playing in, or next week. So a lot of Division I coaches were there. So these guys were putting in the effort, and they look pretty good. So I think your grandson's going to make it to that level here pretty quick.
Right. Well, you know, we're just hoping that wherever he reach, we can bring his team here because, you know, we want to add some flavor. When you think about the Cayman Classic with a Caymanian participation.
Oh, that's going to be huge.
Great.
It's going to be great. And we have other kids, too, who are doing well, who we are expecting to add to that league also.
So that's the goal. We'd love to have that to happen.
Yeah.
Mr. Anglin, you want to add something to that?
I lost my train of thought.
Okay. Well,
You're entitled to a senior moment.
Yeah, I was there, and then my mind went to something else when he said something. But yeah, that's been a big strategy, I think, locally for basketball anyway, in terms of getting kids, you know, off to school in the United States. And there's always been a little bit of debate about how soon to do that, etc. You know, is it you know, a few years before you're out of high school? It's difficult for parents to separate, but at some point in time, that gets them into an environment where they have at least a year or two to acclimate, and then that gives them a bit more exposure as well. So over the years, basketball locally has sent off a lot of athletes to play, you know, in the United States. So as that continues to grow, so will the strength of Cayman's basketball program here. As you can see from the last couple of Island Games tournaments, right? The men, you know, for the first time, they won a gold medal and they won it back-to-back. But again, when you look at that team, the composition of that team, at least 90% of those guys played in the States. They played in the States, right? So that's a big part of the developmental strategy for local basketball, because now then as basketball looks to engage now in our region, when you're talking about things like CBC and stuff, this is the region where the Cayman national men's team will be taking part and things like that. So being able to get off to the States is always a big thing. And one of the other benefits of a tournament like this is, of course, you get to network. You're building those relationships now with those college coaches that are coming down. Right. So now if you have a player who you feel is maybe at the brink or maybe could use a little bit of work, but getting there, you can start to put them on that on these coaches' radar, you know, because you've built relationships. Now you say, hey, coach, you know what, take a look. What do you think? At the end of the day, that athlete has to earn that position, right?
Right.
But still, you know,
he's on the radar.
Yeah, but through relationships, you can help to get these kids on the radar, and which can open up more avenues for them and opportunities. So that's always big.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that with us. And then thank you for explaining the whole national team versus college basketball coming here to play. And what we're going to do, we're going to take a short break. But when we get back, I want to hear a little bit more about what it takes to make this event quite a success that it has been. All right, so stay tuned. We'll be back with more Sports Extra in a minute.
Find out about all the community happenings from nonprofit, community fundraisers, church events, and more with Radio Cayman's Community Bulletin Board 3 times daily. Don't be the one to miss out on the latest information for events taking place every day on all 3 islands. Radio Cayman's Bulletin Board, brought to you by UCCI. Visit www.ucci.edu.ky. Choose your dream and blaze your trail today.
And by GNC, conveniently located in Queens Court, 7 Mile Beach and Country Corner. GNC, more than sports, all fitness, mind and body.
You know what I love to do with my family? Go fishing. I can put the bait on and cast and reel the line all by myself. My mommy and daddy say when they were little, there were plenty more fish to catch, but now there are lots more people fishing, so it's harder to find them. That's why we have marine parks now. They set some areas aside so the fish there can have babies and grow bigger. Then they swim out to other areas where I can catch them. Having the marine parks means there will still be fish there when I'm grown up and fishing with a family of my own.
For more info, download the Cayman DOE app or visit doe.ky.
Pirates Fest!
Pirates Fest, Pirates Fest, Pirates Fest 2022. 3 cheers for 3 islands.
The Department of Environmental Health would like to advise Georgetown residents to get their bulk waste ready for collection from November 14th to the 19th. Household appliances, furniture, and other items too large to be handled by the weekly DEH collection crews should be placed by the roadside where it is easily accessible to DEH collection crews. Metals and vegetation should also be separated from other bulk items. Do not obstruct the roadway or storm drains or place tires, construction and demolition waste, hazardous materials, or electronics. For more information on the Georgetown bulk waste collection from November 14th to the 19th, please contact DEH's Solid Waste Management Section at 949-6696.
Shaken yet standing firm.
I was not built to break.
This is Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
Welcome back to Radio Cayman Sports Extra. If you're just tuning in, we're in the studio with Mr. Joe Wright. We're in the studio with Coach Voot Ogaro, and we're also in the studio with Mr. Colin Anglin, and we're discussing the NCAA basketball, Division I basketball tournament that's going to be on Island for this Thanksgiving week. That's next week, 6 days away. It's quite a huge tournament in terms of the 8 top tier teams that will be coming on Island. And what I want to find out is if Mr. Anglin can enlighten us on what part do you play in ensuring this event is a success?
Right. So I'm dealing with event management. So it's really about handling the various aspects of a tournament.
Okay.
And of course, Cayman we're no strangers to hosting international tournaments, and Cayman has been very fortunate to maintain a very good reputation in doing so. But in order to do that, you have to have a team. Right? Because there are so many different aspects that go into any type of international tournament, right? You have to deal with accommodations. You have to coordinate those things, and dealing with the various requests and specifications from the various teams. You have to make sure that all of that's taken care of, and you have to make sure that they have a great experience.
Right.
Because what really sells is that they have a wonderful experience, and they're going to go and they're going to talk to other coaches, they're going to talk to other schools, etc. And that just makes it easier for you to continue to do what you're doing. And then of course you have transportation that also has to be meticulous. So now you're juggling between coordinating, making it a smooth process. We have to work with the the Cayman Islands Airports Authority. You have to work with Customs and Border Control, being able to bring people in, give them a smooth transition. And then, from there you have your team liaisons, right? So you have a group of awesome people that are going to be there at the team's beck and call, so to speak, if they have any general questions or need some guidance on how to do things around the island.
Right.
They're very special, so we thank our team liaisons. And then, of course, coordinating the rest of the transportation, getting them to and from their destinations, to and from practices, making sure that everything is on time. It has to be on point because, of course, these are multi-million-dollar organizations and they're used to a certain level of professionalism, etc. So it's very important to be able to maintain that and to meet those expectations and even exceed them, where you can. And then of course, you deal with marketing. You got to design things. Getting programs together, being able to promote it. Sharing things with the schools and also you're dealing with the actual execution of the event itself, right? So getting the venue set up, working with the facility managers, dealing with punch lists, identifying certain things, testing things ahead of time, and figuring out if something might need to get repaired, etc. You got to handle all of those types of things. So it is a lot of work. There's volunteers. You can't do any international event without your volunteers.
Right. Of course.
It's impossible, right? Because it's so many people. You're talking easily 80 to 100 volunteers that are going to be performing various aspects, and every single thing is important. Being able to also integrate that with some of our young athletes. So we will have some of our young basketball athletes that are basketball junkies, right? And so they want any excuse to be close to the action anyway. But everything from court craft, taking care of the court, making sure that it's safe, and and keeping the court clean and all that. Those are all very critical things, right? And working, of course, with, I said, various organizations, the Department of Education, and as I said earlier, Civil Aviation Authority, the Department of Sports. So it's a lot. And then, of course, you also are working with sponsors, right? So,
right.
You go around and try to find support because it takes a lot to pull off an event of that magnitude, and you can't do it without public and private partnerships. So, finding that marriage and the thing that works, Coach, if you need to chip in there, feel free, because it is a lot that I'm spotting.
Special thanks to CIS, Cayman International School.
Yes, and the John Gray High School, of course, right? So you're working with those schools because we're utilizing those venues,
Gyms, okay.
right? So CIS is the main practice venue, and then, of course, the John Gray High School being the main venue. And so they've been very accommodating, obviously, in working with them and everything that they're doing with their kids. And the principals and the PE teachers are always very supportive. So we look forward to working with them and creating as many opportunities as possible for those kids.
And the people that will be catering food and all, they will be there for...
Yes, exactly. And then, of course, you have your vendors. So,
right.
you try to set up an environment that's going to be exciting. And the environment is going to be really nice. I mean, we're going to have a food court. But then on top of that, too, you have your various vendors. You got a mixture of nice island food and good mood food. You have Waffle Monkey out there. And we'll have Seven Fathoms and K-Brew giving people that taste of Cayman spirits, so to speak. And yeah, we'll certainly get to our sponsors as well. And like I said, we have Tortuga, who's also a major sponsor, and Smoothie King that are going to be in a certain section, and Flow, also another one of our major sponsors. They're going to have their van outside there as well at times, and so they're going to be doing all kinds of promotions for the fans. They have chances to win phones and stuff like that. We have it costs you less. And I'm going to, really thank everybody more towards the end. So don't worry, I certainly won't miss anybody. But yeah, so also dealing with the entertainment. So what's going to happen at halftime, right? We have, for example, a dance group that's going to be performing. We have some pan from Mr. Earl Lapierre. We have a DJ there. And then also is going to be some cool giveaways. So we'll have Corey taking care of that. Fans, that's why you got to make sure you get there, get your tickets and come, because you might get chosen and you can win cool things such as even iPads and stuff like that. So it's going to be some cool stuff in terms of giveaways and elements of entertainment and all of that. So it's an enormous task that certainly can't be accomplished without a team. So, special thanks to, for example, Mr. Nicholas McLean and his team at the Department of at the Ministry of Education in terms of the IT and setup, Mr. Alan Robinson, Mr. Matthew E. Banks, and Mr. Eric Gardner, for what they do in terms of facilities. We have Miss Mita Day, who heads up volunteers. You have Mr. Corey McGee, who's heading up entertainment. You have Mr. Kevin Morales from Content Studio. We have Mr. Ian Yearwood, who's going to be head of operations and dealing with transport and security and clearance and customs and all that kind of stuff. So, like I said, you can't do it without a team, and I think we certainly have a great one. We have Miss Jill Turk, who's actually over across the shores. And she's still making a tremendous impact in dealing with things with social media and coordinating things with streaming, and so it's and that's another logistics aspect as well. Assisting those teams and the streaming companies with coming through and getting everything through customs and stuff like that. So it's a lot, but fortunately it's an area that I love, and so when you're doing something you love, it doesn't seem like work all the time.
Right. I know people come to the games and they enjoy watching the game. They enjoy watching the guys, but they don't know the intricacies, right? The little details that go on behind, the stage. So it's good that you share that knowledge with them, so they will have an idea of, what it takes, and the hard work that goes into it as well. Coach Voot? Is there? I know you're busy writing on your piece of paper there. You good to go? Okay, so.
Oh, okay.
No, you wanted to say something?
I guess I got to include my part.
Sure.
My part was hard at the first when we first started it. When I first got the opportunity to meet Coach Voot. I've been playing basketball my life. From junior college, high school, junior college to overseas, all over the world, starting a business. Hoops Worldwide, where players that didn't get the opportunity to play professional ball had the opportunity to travel and try to play and try to play exhibition games to try to get on a team. And that's how I met Coach Voot. And I think the hardest part about starting a preseason tournament was actually the hardest part was getting the tournament directors to get the teams.
Yeah.
Because I thought, I know all these coaches. I'll just give them a call and we're going to make it happen. No, that probably took a year for me to really understand it, and that's not going to work. So, and then to get that tournament director was probably the hardest thing because there's no way to get in contact with them. So you have to be in contact and have a good friend on the inside of the coaches' staffs to really get that connection to get with them. And then once you get with them, it's almost like they don't want to give you the number to talk to them because these guys are so serious and their reputations are on the line.
Right. So
finally it took a year and a half to get that, and finally we got that together. And so, my part was to get tournament directors that would actually go out and actually get the team signed. So, but then before that means that the tournament directors have to come down here and make sure that it's going to happen, and we're going to get what we need, and that's no easy task either. So, yeah, my part's pretty easy. Yeah, I've brought in some good people. We've brought in a legal attorney, Al Wilson, that's on our team. He takes care of all the legal stuff that we need to take care of. We brought in Jill Turk, which takes care of social media streaming, does a great job, sponsorships in the United States. We brought in a guy by the name of Mo Hanks that takes care of our men's 8 teams per year. That's a hard job for him. So, a lot of conversations, a lot of talks. And, we've just brought in a new person to our team that she's very, very good and very popular in the college basketball, ladies. So she's an ex-coach at Duke University. We call her Coach P. She was the head coach there for 13 years. And before that, 7 years at Michigan State, and then another 7 years at Maine, I think it was. But took us a while to get with her.
Right.
We're working on the 2023 ladies coming into town.
Because I've been asked for gender equity.
Right.
Right.
We have men tournament, what about the women? It was so much harder to get women basketball to get involved, but eventually Joe got through. So
That's true.
2023, we should have women coming.
Right. Women are
Awesome.
coming on
Girls can
board.
look forward for their role models to come.
I remember you breaking that news to us the last time you were here. Do you have an idea of the teams that will be here for 2023 yet for the women?
Right. We have 4 teams signed. We have UConn, which
Okay.
is one of the
Awesome.
top teams in
Wow.
the country. We have LSU, which is going to be one of the top teams.
This year. Yeah.
This year,
Yeah.
well, they're good now,
Yes.
but for 2023, the year that they're coming over, they have the number 1 recruit. So,
Okay.
plus they have the number 1 recruit right now. So they're coming up strong. We have UCLA that's signing on. We have Kansas University are signing on. So and I've been talking to a couple other coaches that are going to get ready to start. That's going to sign with us here pretty quick. So that feels going to be great. So we've done a lot of work, and we're still not done. We still got a lot of other sports that we're going to bring to town through K-Max. So we're talking about bringing in soccer. We're talking about bringing in softball. We're talking about bringing in volleyball. So as preseason tournaments. So those are things that those soccer, volleyball, and softball.
I didn't hear you say American football.
That's a little harder.
It's huge here in this country.
We would love
American
to have
college
a
football?
bowl game.
Oh, that would be
We
awesome.
would love to have a bowl game here on the island. And that's a work in progress.
Yeah.
But it still can be done. But like I said, you got to get the right connections to
Yeah.
get in there. It's not easy. And then plus there's so many bowl games, throughout the United States. And I think Bahamas has one that we haven't really talked about that in a while. But that's probably going to come back up. But, I feel like if we can get that would just, because you're talking about a lot of people
Just got a
coming to
tip. You
town.
can call it the Stingray Bowl.
Yeah.
So, because, we would love to have the cold states to host a bowl over here, because then you're going to get everybody to come down. So, but those mostly in December. But that's a work in progress. But, we're working.
Awesome. I know it normally takes a couple of years before an event of this magnitude get televised. Is there any possibility that this event will be televised and this year, or shown on social media for basketball fans to witness?
Well, I mean, it is being actually streamed by Flow Sports,
Right.
So that's a major network as well, who's going to be doing that. And to be honest, Dionne, when you're talking about TV, a lot of people don't want to. Maybe a lot of people don't want to admit it. The traditional TV is dying.
It's overrated now.
Traditional TV is dying. Everybody now is streaming.
Streaming, yes.
Because of what the internet is. And because and the accessibility of technology now, it is you get streaming, because everybody, many more people worldwide have access to the internet, and people who don't have a car have a phone.
Right.
I mean, you got people that if they got to invest money before they buy a car, they'll buy a phone. That kind of thing. They make sure they have their phones. So now you have this. You have this element now that, I mean, literally it is so global. And now people, once you have an internet connection, you download an app and boom, it's right there. No matter where you are, you can be at the barbershop. You don't have to be at home. And plus now everybody's buying smart TVs. So the smart TVs now just tap into the apps, and that's how they watch it. So when I actually saw an ad where people were talking about the benefits of traditional TV, I said, that's a sign that it's dying. That's a sign. So, bringing over those huge production trucks and stuff like that, companies are reducing their costs now because of the ability to stream. You don't have to take as much technology as you used to have to take when you needed a satellite truck and all those kinds of things. So everybody's moving over there. Even ESPN and all, they have their apps. They're streaming. Everybody's streaming. So this event is going to be streamed. So it's going to get lots of international recognition and millions of views.
Is there maybe something in the near future where we have the Cayman Islands Classic app? Yeah.
It's a good plug, Dionne.
Another idea.
Good plug. It's a good plug.
Live and learn.
It's a good plug. Yeah.
When you guys look back and at when you first started this tournament, 2017 was the first year. Did you ever think for a minute that it would be this successful?
I did.
Yeah.
I did. When we first started talking about this, I thought to myself, that never ever came to my mind to do something like that. I didn't think that there was a way to do it or someone like me that could do this. Because at my time when I played Division I basketball, it was just a Maui Classic. Right. Yeah. And now that it's grown, and when we talked about this opportunity, I just thought, it's impossible to do because you got to have all the right connections to do it, and we've pulled it off. So I'm pretty impressed that we've done that. So it's not an easy thing, but it's a great thing when you get it started. It kind of up and kind of runs itself. You just keep adding on to it, but it's been great so far.
You said adding on to it, and that leads to my next question. It was part 2 of the last question. How much more potential does this tournament have, you think? What's more left? What's left to do?
Let me tell you what I'm looking forward to seeing. Mm-hmm. When I look at the alumni who travels with the team, they make up the big numbers in the stand. Right. I would like to see more Caymanians participating in the audience. Okay. This is a big tournament, right? And we have to get away. When I can see the stands full every night, and not just on the final night or the semi-final night, I know that we are getting there.
Mm-hmm. That's the next step.
That's the next step.
All right.
And every year as well is, to be honest, thousands of children get to get to witness it, especially during the daytime. Right. Schools will plan a nice field trip, etc. And again, that's really good to get them exposed at a very early age, because you have to build a culture. You have to build a certain mindset, and you got to build that passion and instill that passion in those kids at a very early age. A lot of times we used to talk about when you would get into crowds, and sometimes Cayman crowds would seem like a little bit bashful, and you hear other nationalities, they're all into it and they're carrying on, all kinds of way. But a lot of that starts from here, right? It's part of building a culture where people don't feel like it's strange if you're gonna get on bad cheering for your team, that kind of thing. So that's very important. The kids love it, and I know that they can't wait to come and check that out. But every year, thousands of kids get to come and watch there.
All right, we're going to take a short break. We're going to take a short break. When we get back, I know you have a few things you'd like to make mention of. I also want to talk about the teams that are returning, right, for the second time. Mm-hmm. So stay tuned. We'll be back with more Sports Extra in a minute.
For the record, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday mornings from 7:30 to 9:30, we interview the various government ministers, opposition, and Cayman Island legislators. For the record is brought to you by West Bay Pharmacy at Centennial Towers. Visit us today for fast, efficient, and professional service. Everything you need and the hours you need it at West Bay Pharmacy.
Do you know that conditions may change suddenly in an emergency and you may have to leave at a moment's notice? When a hurricane threatens, you should have a grab-and-go survival kit. This kit should include your personal identification and other vital documents, which should be sealed in a watertight pouch or container. For more tips and information, visit the Hazard Management Cayman Islands office or caymanprepared.ky. This hurricane tip is brought to you by Hazard Management Cayman Islands and Radio Cayman 89.9 FM.
The Department of Environmental Health would like to advise Georgetown residents to get their bulk waste ready for collection from November 14th to the 19th. Household appliances, furniture, and other items too large to be handled by the weekly DEH collection crews should be placed by the roadside where it is easily accessible to DEH collection crews. Metals and vegetation should also be separated from other bulk items. Do not obstruct the roadway or storm drains or place tires, construction and demolition waste, hazardous materials, or electronics. For more information on the Georgetown bulk waste collection from November 14th to the 19th, please contact DEH's Solid Waste Management Section at 949-6696.
Pirate Pirates Fest. A little bit of old, a little bit of new. The evolution of Cayman's Pirates. A little bit of fun for everyone. Grand Cayman festivities from November 10th through the 20th. 10 days, 33 events. From happy hour parties, cardboard boat races, the Trial of the Pirates, float parade, national song competition, pooch parades, races, fireworks. So many fireworks. Pirates Fest is here. 33 events, 10 days, November 10th through the 20th. Stay in the know. Get the full event lineup at piratesfestcayman.com.
Fire, raging through Church Street, bright and little Cayman, putting on some heat.
You are listening to Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
Alrighty, welcome back to Radio Cayman's Sports Extra. In the studio with me tonight, if you're just tuning in, we have Mr. Joe Wright, the CEO for K-Max Sport and President, Coach Victor Vutogaro. He is of K-Max Sports, and we have Mr. Colin Anglin, who's the manager of, he's the organizer of the event, the man behind the scenes, all right? So, and we're discussing the Cayman Islands Classics that's coming here the week of Thanksgiving, the 21st through the 23rd, to be played at the John Gray Gymnasium. And I wanted, it's of my understanding, leaving off from where we were last talking, it is my understanding that teams, of course, cannot travel to the same tournament within 4 years. So, and it's been 4 years or more, and we have one or two teams that are returning to the tournament. How cool is that, and what does that say, about the tournament itself?
I think it says that they enjoy coming here. They enjoy the competition, enjoy the atmosphere, hotels, everything that's involved. Coach Hunter that was at Georgia State, and now he's at Tulane, and he signed straight on up. And then we had Illinois State that signed a couple years ago.
Wow.
But they recently got a new coach, and they're coming back. So we have Illinois State. Oh, and Akron.
Akron.
And Akron, too.
Right.
So
Akron. Three.
So we have three. So we have three teams coming back. That's a good sign that we're doing things the right way. So we want to encourage that, and if we can get them every 4 years, we're lucky to have them.
Right. What I was happy to hear is teams discussing among themselves about the Cayman Classic. Coaches are asking, tell me about it. Coaches are asking other coaches. Coaches are asking us to come. So our tournament director has an opportunity to choose from the teams that are asking to come. And that's a great thing.
Who are some of the hotels that are responsible for holding our athletes that are visiting?
You have the Marriott.
Okay.
And you have the Westin.
Okay.
The Westin is the official hotel sponsor.
Nice.
All right. And Sunshine Suites is where the officials were staying.
In the media, yeah.
And the media, yep.
Okay. So, referees, the officials, and media. All right. And there's also a camp coming up.
Yeah.
We have quite a few camps that's coming up.
On Saturday, right? That's
okay.
We kick off with a camp.
Okay.
So we have a camp on Saturday from 9 to 10:30. Then we have a camp from 10:30 to 11:30 with the Special Olympics, as we do every year.
Okay.
So Special Olympics, we give them their own hour. And we are looking forward to seeing the Special Olympics here. Coach Joe, myself, my coach, my friend George from Greece will be on the coaching staff.
Okay.
And I have Coach Chairs coming in from the States.
Okay.
To help here. So we have
any of the visiting teams will be there, or they'll be practicing during that time.
They'll be arriving.
No, they'll be arriving.
Be arriving on that time.
Buzz will start.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So how can fans get to these matches? You want to talk a little bit about ticket sales and?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, as you know, we're using Event Pro.
Okay.
Event Pro, I think, has done a fantastic job. So I want to give a shout out to Jonathan and his team. They've done a great job at building their brand, and I think the proof is in the pudding. That's why pretty much everybody's using them, right? So people can get their tickets through Event Pro. That's eventpro.ky. And when you go on to CaymanIslandsClassic.com, actually, you see there's a landing page there that actually can take you directly to the site as well. So from there, you can choose if you want to get a booster package, right? Which pretty much means that if you have a particular team that you want to watch and you want to guarantee that you'll see all three of their games, you buy that booster package. Right now, to be honest, the greatest steal is the all tournament package. That is, I think that's only about $200 US. That's a steal for 12 games, right? So you get to see all of them with the all tournament pass. Now, I think something that's important for people to realize or know this year is the format of the games. Whereas before it was 12 individual games, this year it's actually 6 sessions. So a session is actually 2 games. So when you pay, for example, if you're paying regularly for a session, you pay say $25 for example, right, for a particular session, but you're actually getting 2 games. So you have a morning session, which is the 11 o'clock game, and the 1:30 p.m. game, and then you have an evening session, which is the 5 o'clock game and the 7:30 p.m. game. So every day there's always 2 sessions, and in each session is 2 games. So when you're paying for one session, you're getting 2 games.
Amazing. What are the price for tickets, or?
It's an average of $25 per session. The semifinal sessions and the championship session is a little bit more. It's probably like $35. But again, it's really great pricing to be able to see that kind of action, because when you think about it, you have a lot of folks here, and this is again goes to Coach's point, why he wants to try to drive the point home to our local crowd about seizing this opportunity. Is that people who love sports and love basketball, etc., they don't think twice about spending $300 on a ticket, flying over to the United States, spending another $300-400 on hotels, and then paying for their ticket to go watch their favorite college team play. Right. And now you get NBA. That opportunity, right? Or NBA team. So you have the opportunity to see this level of basketball right here. It's right around the corner. And the prices are absolutely fantastic. So, as a matter of fact, Joe, I think you wanted to make a very special announcement about and this ties into how it also benefits our local athletes and inspires them as well. But the under-19 boys and girls leagues are taking place right now. And people would notice, because you post them all the time on your page, the players of the game, right? And Joe, what did you decide to do for the players of the game? You wanted to give them something?
Right, they're all coming to get a ticket to the game.
Right.
So they're all going to be coming, and we're going to put them on our website too.
How many more games left before the tournament?
Looking for one more.
Yeah. So
it's
again,
going to be a fight, coach.
Yeah. So again, that's really great, and that helps to inspire those kids to say, you know what, I'm being recognized for my performance. I'm leaving it all out there. I'm excelling, and you know what? You're getting these extra perks in a lot of different ways. So that really ties in. I think that's really great.
Did we talk about who's the team to beat
in this tournament?
In this particular, I know you guys said who are your favorite teams, but who's the number one team?
That's hard to say.
Is it LSU?
I think it might be LSU. K-State.
Well, I think it was LSU when Shaq's son was playing.
Well, no, not when he was playing, when he was on the bench. Let's make that clear.
She didn't say popularity.
Yeah. Let's just make that clear. But he's entered the transfer portal now. So where's he?
He's in G League.
He's in the G League now.
Okay.
You know who I saw recently, and I was telling you about it. Wanda's young player, Junior.
Right.
Junior is in the NBA now. Remember when we went to Texas? He is in the NBA now. We went to Texas, and there was this big strappy dude that we were looking at. We went to one of their local basketball games, and he played pretty well. He was very good. He was big, so he was very dominant in the key. And now he's playing for the Grizzlies. Yeah, you have Ja Morant talking about what a force he is to reckon with in the center.
And again, Dionne, the benefit of forming good relationships, right? As we work with Wanda to actually do the do the Cayman Basketball Festival, right? That happened right before COVID. Right. So in building that relationship and exchange with Texas, because Wanda, of course, is Wanda Bodden. So again, that shows those Cayman ties.
Yes.
right? And she really wanted to build this relationship, you know, with Cayman and with Texas.
Port Arthur, yeah.
Yes, right, in Port Arthur, Texas. So that's where that relationship kind of formed, and we went over there and started talking, and we ended up having this tournament. And then they were going to host the Cayman team, right, the Cayman Islands team the very next year. Everybody was so excited. And then, of course, Mr. COVID, right?
Right.
You know, bad news
Debbie
bear.
Downer.
Yeah, Debbie Downer. That's what it is. So you know, but again, those relationships continue.
Right.
And yeah, she's going to be coming down to check out this tournament as well. But again, the benefit of just forming relationships and how that kicks off to benefit our local athletes as well.
Awesomeness. So before we head out of here, we're going to talk a little bit about sponsors. I will allow you guys to share with us the sponsors that, you know, has helped made this tournament a huge success.
Yeah, so we want to say a very special thank you to the Ministry of Tourism and Transport, the Ministry of Youth, Sports, Culture, and Heritage. I want to thank Tortuga, the Westin, Fast Signs, Cost You Less, Cayman Cabana, Flow, Captain Marvin's, Smoothie King, Content Studio, Seven Fathoms, and K-Brew.
Awesomeness.
So again, it's not possible without that public-private partnership.
Best Dressed Chicken.
Best Dressed Chicken is actually sponsoring a few of the halftime spots, so they're going to get they're going to get their plug in there. I don't think, you know, before the fans ask, we're probably not going to have somebody dressed in a chicken coming out this year around, you know, so don't look for the chicken there. But, you know, many of you know Best Dressed Chicken.
I'm glad you said that. Are any of the teams bringing their mascots?
No.
I don't know.
We
don't normally see that.
They're still football season, so they go with the football teams.
Oh. Okay, but it's basketball season too. That's not fair.
True.
But it's early.
But it'd be so cool. Yeah, it's very
early in the basketball season.
Yeah, it's very true. It's very
true. So just so people know, in terms of in terms of the format of the tournament as well, you know, game 1, which is on November 21st. Okay, you have Illinois State versus LSU at 11 a.m. So this is all in the first session. You have the University of Akron versus Western Kentucky. University, that's going to be game 2. You have Nevada versus Tulane. That's going to be in the second session. That's game 3. That's at 5 p.m. And then you have Rhode Island versus Kansas State.
So excited.
7:30 p.m. Game 4. So that's the lineup for the first day, and that pretty much, whether a team wins or loses, that determines who's going to play the very next day. That determines the bracket. So that takes care. That's how the tournament format works.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Awesome. All right. Any last words before we head out?
So I also wanted to say a thank you to some companies that have sponsored some tickets for local students as well.
Okay.
Which are Eisner Amper Cayman. We have Baker Tilly, Travers Thorpe Alberga, and Health City Cayman Islands. I want to say a very special thanks. Health City actually is paying for like all the Eastern District, students, schools and stuff that they want to plan their field trip. Health City is covering them, so I want to say a big thank you.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I want to say a big thank you to them. And so, again, thanks so much to all of the companies that are contributing in all of these ways.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that with us. Thank you guys so much for coming.
Sorry. You have to watch out for this because it's coming. But we're announcing a special contest. It's going to be called the Cayman Passport Challenge. Okay. Cayman Passport Challenge. That's going to be eligible for both visitors and locals alike. It's something where you're going to be able to visit one of our sponsor locations. And what you have to do is you have to visit a few different locations, and you have to spend at least $20 there. So, for example, at Cayman Cabana, go and get something to eat. Go by Smoothie King, get a few smoothies. Head over to Tortuga, get a rum cake and a few things there. Head over to Cost You Less. Many of the locals do that anyway, so that's an easy way to qualify. Go over to Flow, go pay your bill. Head to take a tour over at Seven Fathoms or at K-Brew. And what you can do is that you just get, whenever you make your purchase, you'll get a stamp. Not a stamp. You take your receipt, staple that onto your card for your passport, and then at the end of that you're going to be able to drop it in a box at the gym, and you stand to win a chance for all expenses paid experience next year at next year's tournament. So right, you're talking about getting a room if they're away, right? You get your room here, you get all your tickets. If you're local, you'll still be able to get your hotel room for that week of the tournament, and you get a rent-a-car, and you get your tickets, right? So look out for that.
All right, sounds good. Thank you so much for that. Thank you guys for coming on. I'm wishing you all the best. I can't wait to see Kansas and LSU. All right, those are my two teams.
Kansas State.
All right. Kansas State, yeah. Yes, because there's a difference. Huh?
Yep.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to those two teams. Thanks again, and thanks for those who joined us this evening. That'll do it for tonight's edition of Sports Extra. Sports Extra is about giving you the latest information of sports right here in the Cayman Islands. If you would like the opportunity to be a part of our show, please feel free to email me at sportsextracayman@gmail.com. You can also check out our Radio Cayman Sports Extra Facebook page to keep abreast of all sporting activities here on island, or our Radio Cayman YouTube feed. All right, I'm Dionne Anglin. Thank you so much for joining us. Good night and God bless. Don't forget to like us on Facebook at Radio Cayman Sports Extra.
As a coach, I thoroughly agree. The athlete has just qualified for the World Championship on a bigger stage in a bar. The guys we've been training for the last 5 months now, so they're there and they're all high in spirit that they're going to do well.
It was really infectious. I mean, for a 4-day meet with 2 sessions each day, that's pretty exhausting. And these kids were just rocking the whole weekend, so.
From district to district, moving through the waters to Cayman Bracken, Little Cayman. Your station, your voice. All things Cayman, one radio, many people. This is home.
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.